Hello and welcome to When Will It End? It's a movie podcast. Yar mateys, allo poppets. We're here, number 5, baby.
He died.
Goodbye, poppet.
Hello, yeah. There should have been a goodbye poppet scene.
Hello from the poppet side.
Goodbye from the poppet side?
Goodbye from the poppet side.
Yeah, this is When Will It End?
When will it end? We watch a whole series of movies, and what do we tell them?
We tell them, well, you like to say they're good or bad. I don't even think we should say it. But yeah, whether they're good or bad, whether they add or subtract.
Yeah, each consecutive franchise film, does it add to the world? Does it make it better or worse? Should you sit down to watch an entire series in a very short amount of time like we do? Mm-hmm. Broadly, no.
Yeah.
I think that's the experiment we've discovered here is that it's very strange to watch like 3 of these movies in a day or more, which we have. We famously watched the entire Shrek series in a single day. It was a strange move on both of our parts, but we got through it. And I think we both felt a sense of satisfaction and completion.
Yeah, I told my dad about it.
When we finished the Pirates movies?
Yeah, he gave me his my first hug.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. He's like, wow, I'm so proud of you,
He
son.
shed a single tear and said, I can die now. My boy's going to be all right.
We trapped that tear in a test tube.
Just like Barbarossa, he was like...
Let's not talk about that.
You're my treasure. A treasure.
All right. So we watched the final.
Le Finalement. And given the current legal status of Johnny Depp, who's locked in and out of legal battles with his ex-wife over abuse claims and counter-abuse charges and libel, and he seems like a barely functioning alcoholic who's broke. His life is a mess. It seems like he's done some bad things. I am not rooting for Johnny Depp to return to the screen. He needs to take care of his business. Johnny, if you're listening, buddy.
Why would Johnny be listening?
I don't think he's...
Wouldn't that be incredible if Johnny Depp were listening?
Between you and me, I don't think he's listening. If you are listening, Johnny, seek help. But yes, this is a Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Can we finally get to... I don't know if we really mentioned it. How infuriating the titling for this series is?
Yes, you pointed this out. So in the third film at World's End, there is no Pirates of the Caribbean title card.
Which was great.
Yeah.
I'm more just saying, literally every time I'm like, all right, which movie do we watch next? I have to Google Pirates franchise and then figure out what the next movie is. Because
wait, hold on. I just put in the 4 or the 5 or the 3. That's what I did.
I'm saying either way, you have to Google it because I'm looking at a stack of Blu-rays and it's like...
Yeah, it is admittedly obtuse.
You can never find the date on the back of a Blu-ray. Well, Criterion does it right. They put the runtime,
yes, Criterion's
the year, right on the front of the box.
Okay. They're good. They do good work.
What the fuck? They do good
here's
work.
my thing. The thing with this series, what makes this even more frustrating is that if 4 is the most episodic of all of these, in that it's essentially just like a Jack Sparrow fanfic romp, we're back into the world of like from the get-go, you really need to know what the fuck is going on. Because like scene 1 of the 5th movie, it's the child of Elizabeth Swann and Will Turner trying to summon up the Flying Dutchman to see his barnacle-encrusted Orlando Bloom dad. So right out the gate, if you don't know what's happening in these movies, you're like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why'd the boy drown himself to find the boat?
Briefly mention that last week, our big complaint of this movie that it was trying to do what the previous ones had done but couldn't and was really bad, and they left out all this like overwhelming exposition, which in most movies is bad, but somehow they work really well.
Well, this movie, I would go as 1, I fucking loved this movie. It might be my favorite of the series. I really enjoyed it. And they do the exposition of all exposition, the MacGuffin of all MacGuffins, the Deus Ex Machina of all Deus Ex Machina.
Keep going. What else?
They introduced So first off, you pointed out how cute this is. At the end of the 4th movie, Penelope Cruz says something to the effect of,
when she's lying to be like
to make sure that
Jack stays in the island, she's like, I know a treasure that controls all the seas,
all the powers of the sea,
and he's like, fuck you, and then she goes, I have your baby,
and he's like,
fuck you,
I gotta go. So this movie, relatively early on, the spawn of the iconic romantic couple of the first 3 films says the exact same phrase, talking about the new item that we're all excited about in this movie, the Trident of Poseidon.
Wah, wah, wah.
Which, by the way, this movie does talk about the grave of Poseidon, and I was very confused because it implies that Poseidon, the god of the sea, died at some point.
He did.
Why? That seems weird to me. The god of the oceans is dead?
He's dead, man.
He's a god.
Yeah, I know, but weren't you? I got a little obsessed in like middle school with the idea that God. Maybe I think it's because I read Good Omens, where it was like gods die when they don't have anyone to believe
The
in
Terry
them.
Pratchett, Neil Gaiman novel. Not everyone knows this bullshit that we read as children.
Yeah. It's a TV show on Amazon Prime, which means also probably people don't know what it is.
And if you're not getting a big old taste of Michael Sheen, yum, yum, yum.
I want a big old taste of How do I get a big old taste of Michael Sheen?
Watch Good Omens.
Yeah?
Watch Masters of Sex.
Yeah. That sounds
30
better.
Rock, where he plays Wesley Snipes, which is amazing.
Weird.
Remember, you watch that run, 30 Rock?
Don't like 30 Rock.
You're missing out. It's because you're not Jewish. He's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Right. Okay. So no.
No.
Yeah. So this movie, we're all up in arms about it. The new thing that's going to solve all our problems, the Trident of Poseidon. And the reason I think this is a magical moment for exposition and complete bullshit plot devices is that they're like, this Trident will undo every curse. You know, the fucking dozens of curses we've detailed in this series, the like curses upon curses upon curses.
Yeah.
Guess what? We found the one thing we can clear the slate. Everyone's going to be fine at the end of the movie. We just got to find this fucking Trident.
That makes sense.
It makes sense.
It's a god's power.
It's a god's power. It's like, it's the thing where like in any other movie series, I'd be like, well, this is like, talk about a fucking like absolutely the most convenient plot device of all time. But in this, you're like, great.
Did you call it that yet? The ultimate plot device of all ultimate plot devices?
I just did.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure we add that to the list.
Yes. But I'm saying like in this, like they find a way to like just hit a reset button. And so this is the shortest of the 5 movies, which we desperately needed. Yeah, it's the shortest. You told me that.
Well, it's got to be true then.
I know. I do like your natural skepticism kicked in with any of my claims. Like, I don't know.
But yeah, that's honestly because I have a very bad memory.
Sure.
So if I doubt anything you say, you just say, "Oh, you told me that."
Okay,
I'll
good.
go,
Moving
yeah,
forward,
you're right.
I'll use it to gaslight you on any number of issues.
I won't even care. I love being right that much.
Right.
I won't even care. Because all that'll really gaslight me into thinking is that I'm right.
It's true. With the way your ego is arranged, it's a very nice, neat little trick to say, it was actually your idea. And you're like, what a good idea.
That's great.
That's a very clever idea. Oh, just a quick salsa report here. We weren't eating salsa during the movie, but Charles still managed to not make a mess. So I'm proud of you.
Well, yeah, that's right. Because we had huge amounts of Taco Bell.
We ate a fucking king's portion of Taco Bell. Because in this movie, we get to see, so now Barbosa is now Barbarossa is now king of the oceans.
We only seen 5 of them, Josh.
And now he's rich as shit. And there's a really great scene where he's just sitting around eating shit with fucking tweezers. Yeah. Well, like a string quartet plays for him. Everything's covered in gold now.
It's a trio.
Jeffrey Rush is a fucking treasure.
And he learns at the end of this movie that his daughter's a treasure, but
they give him a Logan. They Logan him in this movie.
But what we learn is that he is the treasure.
It's so beautiful.
I feel like if all of America ripped out their hearts at the same time,
simultaneously,
it would turn into Jeffrey Rush.
That would be the most beautiful of all.
Do you think that's how he was born?
He was ripped out of something?
What year was he born?
Jeffrey Rush?
Yeah.
No, vamp for a minute.
I'm wondering if perhaps he was born during like the Great Depression, during a period of, a lot of people killing themselves.
Oh my God, wait, this is huge. He's Australian.
What the fuck? He's not even American?
I didn't think he was American. I just thought he was British.
I thought he was our treasure, Josh.
He's the world's
treasure.
Let me see.
You can't let Australia
have
him.
He's never won he's won an Oscar.
For what?
So first off, he was born in
war?
1951.
Okay.
So he's 68, so he's a treasure who perhaps is fast. Sexual misconduct allegations?
No. Jeffrey, fuck.
Hold on. The story. Okay, so inappropriate behavior on stage with the co-star during the Sydney Theatre Company's 2015 production of King Lear. The story contained no corroboration for the allegations, though they received a complaint of alleged sexual harassment by Rush.
Wait, what?
Erin Jean Norville, who had starred as Cordelia, alongside Rush, alleged that the actor touched her inappropriately without her consent. They had fallen into the toilet during an after party.
God.
Jesus. God damn it, Jeffrey.
What?
Yuck. And he suffered worst of all. He suffered from anxiety, insomnia, and a loss of appetite.
Wow.
Due to the allegations.
Oh, no.
Wow.
This
is a long and complicated. This went to trial?
Wow.
Wow, what a real bummer. So at the end of the day, it was actually just this April. This is crazy. Just April 2019, the trial ended in his favor. He was awarded money like in a libel. He won his libel suit against, I think, the paper.
Weird. I don't know how I feel. Well, I'm glad he's Australian.
But you know how that subsection of his Wikipedia article continues? Further allegations.
Further allegations?
Oh, no. Yeah, Elle Stone accused Rush of sexual misconduct in December 2016 during Diary of a Madman in 2010 and 2011. Yikes. Jeffrey, what the fuck? Men are dog shit. The industry is garbage.
This is bad. We were talking earlier about how we don't have any friends in the industry to help our podcast get more popular. But
They're probably going to try to finger us in the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like is going to happen. Guys, don't get into acting.
No.
It's a
sucks.
Jesus.
Fuck. Well,
the wind's out of our sails.
That's good.
We'll have to find another tack.
Good.
It's all sailing stuff.
Did you grow up sailing?
No, are you fucking kidding? We went fishing a few times, but like I think that's the extent of that. Yeah.
I hate fishing.
Why do you hate fishing?
It's boring.
Well, I mean that's the whole thing about fishing. I mean that's like you have to really get into the groove of fishing. I mean you've seen Serenity.
I mean I might like it now actually.
Sure.
If it weren't so violent and cruel.
Well, speaking of violent and cruel, we've talked about one sex criminal. Johnny Depp is actually fucking great in this movie.
Yeah.
We kick things off with a real. We talked. You mentioned this.
Yeah.
This movie does a lot of things we rarely have seen before, where we actually see Jack Sparrow doing a crime.
Yeah. It was really weird because I was like, wait, why is he doing pirate stuff? Because we've never seen any of these pirates do pirate stuff before.
And it's weird now in retrospect that we almost never see them doing actual normal pirate stuff that's not related to elaborate myth or mythos related rites and incantations.
Yeah, it's sort of like Fast Five in that it like freed the series from being just about like underground car shit and butts.
Yeah, we see a dumb heist.
Yeah, we see a heist. I'm like, wait, these guys are actually really good at robbing shit. Maybe the series could be about them robbing shit instead of...
They're actually quite bad at robbing shit, as we've discovered.
Are they?
Well, they don't
get away with it. In this movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, it reminded me of Cowboy Bebop. And like they always do this thing and it sort of works and then they end up with zero and they have to just wait for the next one.
Oh God, life as a criminal.
Yeah.
Crime doesn't pay.
They were bounty hunters.
All right. Well, they steal a whole building. There's this really great bit. One Jack Sparrow cucks a guy. The guy's like, kill that fucking pirate and that whore next to him. They're like, that whore is your wife. And he goes like, no, Lucinda. And Sparrow's like, I'm fucking wasted. And a very, very true to life performance as a drunk middle-aged man. Johnny Depp is actually kind of has it dialed in. I think for the first time in 5 movies, he nails Sparrow in this, which is like...
He does nail it.
I get it after this movie. He nails it in this.
Yeah.
But it's weird that he somehow didn't really... He seems kind of out of it in 3 and 4. And this one, he actually, I think it feels very real. And again, so we talked about changing directors. We're done with Rob Marshall, that trash man who made the 4th movie.
He was bad.
Movie didn't work. Now it's like a strange team of guys who have not really worked on a lot of fiction, like action. It's certainly nothing of
they're
scale.
all fiction. I looked them up. They just make like biopics and things based on real events, but they're all fictionalized. So this, I guess, was right in their wheelhouse, as you said, that this is also based on real events. Blackbeard was a real person.
We learned all about him last week on the show.
Yeah.
Edward Teach.
So same with Salazar is probably a real person too, you know?
You think so?
I mean, I'm just using...
You think the ghost Spanish Armada admiral is a real guy?
Just using the transitive property.
Okay.
But
hey, who plays him in this wonderful movie?
Javier Bardem.
Ooh, looking great.
Not quite as good as, as a bad guy. He's played a lot of bad guys since No Country for Old Men, but I don't think anyone will quite beat that, quite get to that same level of menace.
Yeah.
I don't like
that movie.
You don't like that movie?
I don't like the movie.
Wow, you don't like that movie. Why not?
It's just so joyless. Like, I'm not sure what the message is other than that, like, life is cruel and random and, like, faith has no role in life anymore. It's like, okay, Cormac McCarthy and the Coen brothers did a circle jerk and we're left with a movie so profoundly dispassionate. Like, I'm honestly asking you, like, what's the point of the movie?
I mean, I think it's that we should like each other a little more.
I don't get that vibe from that movie.
I know. I talked to my dad about this a lot, and he's like, the Coen brothers are so cruel all the time. And I'm just like, yeah, I feel like when you have to endure cruelty, it might make you realize that cruelty isn't that great. And it could be like, yeah, I think they're moralists ultimately.
I think you're right. But I think of all of their movies, that one to me seems like every character they start with is a piece of shit, except for the wife, who of course she has to die. But it's like in many of their movies, cruelty is this mechanism of learning and comeuppance, like Raising Arizona, like, Hail Caesar, like A Serious Man. Those are amazing movies where cruelty is used towards something. Ironically, Intolerable Cruelty is a fresh ass movie that I wish I think they hope.
I haven't seen it.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
It's like a courtroom farce from the 40s, but like it's.
I mean, weird. They did a couple of those. They did the one with Tom Hanks, right?
Oh, Lady Killers. That's a remake of the Alec Guinness movie, also considered one of the worst.
Yeah, they do this sometimes. They slum it in the weird comedy world, and I haven't actually watched either of those.
They're not good. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that like their cruelty in some movies seems to like really be towards some sort of moralistic goal, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. And then No Country for Old Men, it's like all these trash people die violently because they're awful, and then the wife dies too because it doesn't matter, and there aren't good guys, and there aren't good endings, and Tommy Jones wakes up from a dream.
He lit a fire the way they used to, and he passed me, and he told me to follow him, and I said I'd follow him, and then I woke up.
Great ending to a movie that's so disappointing to me. I remember
that ending is exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's about like it's called No Country for Old Men. It's like this weird look. It's like a MAGA thing. It's like this thing of like we used to have ideas of how to be real people. Mostly men. We used to have, I'm just going to say that. Cormac McCarthy's like, we used to have an idea of what it was like to be a man. And now look at this place. I just want to fucking die and be with my pap on a horse.
Yeah, but I mean, okay. That's an old man idea. Like, it's not that interesting to me.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's like Cormac McCarthy's idea. I think the Coen brothers just made it a little bit looser. It was like more about like, the way people sort of glorify the past, but also are scared of what's happening now. And there's like very little connection in this crazy world called America.
That's beautiful when you put it like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I got to watch it again.
Can you tell me I'm right?
You're right.
Tell me it's my idea.
It's your idea.
Thank you for gaslighting me so beautifully.
You're so right, and it's so your idea.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Wait, we're talking about pirates,
right? Of course. Welcome to When Will It End? This is, of course, Pirates of the Caribbean 5, where we talk about No Country for Old Men and other Coen brothers pictures. Yes, no. So I think we loved this movie. I don't want to speak for Charles. I think we had fun. We laughed. We laughed the most watching this of all of them. I think they go for jokes a lot, and they land a lot.
Well, we're definitely going to do this is a thing we do. So if you haven't listened before, we do this. This isn't one of those joke things we say we do because we think it's funny to say things that we don't do as a thing we do.
Sure.
We do this.
Yes.
We rank it.
And it was your idea. Yeah.
Thank you. It's a really great idea.
It was so good.
Yeah, I think that was a good idea.
Yeah, okay.
I'm glad you remembered that because I didn't remember that, but it's nice to hear. It makes me feel good. We'll you want to do it now or you want to do it later? The ranking.
I want us doing it a little bit.
Okay, we're going to rank them later.
I feel like I have some hot takes coming in fast.
Yeah.
I did a lot of reading of other people's rankings of this series. And also, I want to point this out. And again, this is an ongoing investigation of essentially how franchises exist in our world. And on Rotten Tomatoes, which I'm not using as the grand master of all critical approval, but I'm just saying it's a useful amalgam for like generally where people fell on these movies. The order of the movies is progressively worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
That's what.
So critical consensus as put together by Rotten Tomatoes starts with like a high of like maybe a 73% for the first film,
sure,
and it goes down like a 29% for this movie.
Wow, this is interesting.
Which goes to show, I think, a changing cultural trend where this was, again, one of the early 21st century major franchises that spanned like over a decade and got so expansive and wild. And I think critics got exhausted with it just as this era of franchises started to heat up. This one maybe felt to them tired and old already because it began so fucking early.
Yeah. I think this was also my idea, but I think this was Disney's first big franchise. I mean, I know that they, capitalized on animated movies and they definitely did like DVD stuff, but I think this was and I could be wrong. Tell me I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong. Where's this going?
Yeah. No, but like this is their first. This was it. This was their big venture into. This was pre-Marvel. Things like Terminator. There were things before, but Disney hadn't really gotten involved in.
Well, and also the Gore Verbinski trilogy, it really feels like the first three are sort of self-contained. Four is totally out there, and so this is like they're dipping way back into it with this, and I kind of admire that. Like this is a real return to form for the entire franchise.
Yeah, but I think what this podcast is really fun. And one thing that wow, you're just laughing at me.
I know. Just
I can say whatever I want, man. This is my show.
It's not your show.
It's my show.
What's the end of this?
I'm the co-EP.
Get to the end of it. You were both EPs. It's very real.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
We're tied. Yeah.
Maybe I won't get to the end of it. You'll go sit in my room.
You don't have a room here.
Fuck. I got that pizza. No, the pizza box is gone.
Pizza box is gone.
I used to play with that thing.
There's a pizza box full of debris in the office.
What I was going to say is that this show has taught me to like really not trust film critics, because I don't think they know what the fuck their role is and what the fuck they're talking about.
Okay, I think you're dead right, because I think a lot of the attitude we confront in reviews about these movies are like, here they go, trotting out another one.
Do we really need another one?
More pirates? It's like...
We need another movie, so why not make one of these?
They're going to make more movies. Lean into, like, it's here.
Yeah.
Like, meet it halfway. And, like, again, I think... The idea that you could watch these movies in order and think this is the worst of them is insane to me.
Right. It's a
Jaws 4 situation all over again, where it's like Jaws 4 has this, massive problems, but like it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Shrek 3,
it's cool.
Easily better than the first two Shrek movies. But I think that lazy fatigue of like, oh, here's another one, and I think that is like gradually changing with through the MCU. I think because of the crescendo of Infinity War and Endgame. I think it's changing how critics are like responding to these things.
Yeah.
Because like, these can go interesting places dramatically.
I think what was lacking here was early, and it also was based on a theme park ride. So there's not an avid fan base of gross men who are stomping their feet, making sure people give it good reviews so they make more of them for them.
I think you're right. Because it's so untethered to some sort of like, fetishized source text, it actually has this weird freedom to do all kinds of stuff, like introduce the Trident of Poseidon, where no one's going to be like, well, that wasn't in the fucking 20-minute ride. It's like, who gives a shit? Like, no one fucking cares.
Yeah, and it's cool, and it's also just based on pirates.
Right.
Which a lot of people love.
Right. And
which it's totally understandable why this film series is so financially successful, because I have friends that will fucking literally just watch pirate shit because they love pirates so much.
Well, and I think you hit on something good here, which is that this strikes a tone between, I don't want to use Rob Marshall's The Other Pole here, but basically it's Gore Verbinski and the rest of the world. And this is nowhere near as fucking insane as a Gore Verbinski movie.
Yeah.
Because certainly compared to nothing will compare to the third movie, which is like a monolith of fucking inhumanity. But this one like has plenty of like hoary, gory, like, ocean stuff and pirate lore, and yet is not like quite as balls to the wall, like shrieking at you as a Gore Verbinski production. So I think it's a nice, like, it feels like a Rogue One style, like, oh, we can enjoy this universe, but not like it's not overbearingly produced by this one vision who maybe made it a little much.
Yeah, I agree. I do love the way Gore Verbinski worked with these series, but this was the most enjoyable, I think. No, I think number 2 is the most enjoyable. That one had a lot of fun.
2 has the best set piece of the entire series. I think the island three-way sword battle is incredible, and I don't think we ever got back to those heights.
But I think this was good as an end to a franchise, because we've sort of been talking throughout the series that these movies keep ending. I'm just gonna. Can I do what Jaws 4 did to Jaws 3 and just wipe 4 right out of canon?
Well, 3 was in this series, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 4. Other than that cute little 1-2 punch of the Powers of the Sea line, there's like almost nothing from 4 that survives.
Is there any plot that?
Basically none.
Okay, great. So we're just gonna rip it out, because I just want to talk about the series.
Trash.
And it was garbage.
Yeah.
But the actual series, these movies keep ending, and no one really is happy or satisfied. They just sort of have to keep going. And I think especially for a movie about, endings and mortality and losing stuff, it's good that Verbinski never just like gave the characters what they wanted. And but to flip that, I like that this is the 5th movie, probably not going to get another one. Everyone's satisfied at the end of this. And it's like, feels like this is the final culmination where we do get to see some sort of relaxation and just sort of peace. Everyone sort of has a little bit more peace at the end of this movie.
Yeah. Okay. So, Barbossa finally, he dies saving his daughter from death, and it's a beautiful gesture of fatherhood. It's sort of an unexpectedly emotional beat for that character, and it really works amazingly. And it's brilliantly acted by sex criminal Jeffrey Rush.
Remember when I said last episode that they should have had something where a father who throughout the series had been sort of dead and not caring chose to give up his life to save his daughter?
Right, because that was the major weird, shitty problem with the characterization of Blackbeard.
Yeah. Well, hey, they did it in this one.
You were right.
Hey, remember when you said that we should have more sharks?
There were sharks.
Hey, remember when I said they should have more fucking walking the plank and more cannonballs?
There was keel hauling.
Got all this shit.
There's an 18 ball joke. That's some ball jokes back. Yeah. Also, we saw a flashback in this. And also, we talked about, again, you just hit on something really good there, where the big problem with Blackbeard is he's very tonally inconsistent. It was very frustrating. It kind of sucked as a father and a villain. In this movie, Salazar by Bardem is a fucking brutal nightmare bad guy from the get-go. We don't hear stories about his badness. He's just a fucking monster, and it's awesome.
Yeah, and you see a flashback about his monstrosity.
And in that flashback, we see another first for the series, which is we see young Johnny Depp. We see young Jack Sparrow become Jack Sparrow. So in showing Salazar's ruthlessness as like a living admiral, it's a beautifully used example to like show us young Jack Sparrow. So like, again, as far as like, I complained about 4 being too much fan service as far as like, oh, Jack's just being wacky and saucy or whatever. And it sucked.
And then did we learn on air, or was this off air that we learned that he just like wrote the whole show?
We talked about this in the last episode. Okay, he mentioned like, oh, what if Jack did this? They're like, okay, Johnny, like stop yelling. But in this
more wine, here's a bottle.
It's not so much fan service as like, like what was young Jack Sparrow like? Why is he called Jack Sparrow? And then the fact that Salazar is so uniquely tied to his own like mythos makes it a really great way to finish what seems like the arc of Jack Sparrow on the show.
Yeah.
The show.
This show.
It feels like a show. When we watch them like this, it's like we're watching a HBO series run horribly amok.
I said show too.
Yeah.
We both said show.
Is life not all a game of show?
I'm not sure.
Yes, makes you think.
Should I just say yeah?
Makes you think, doesn't it? It was your idea.
Oh, yeah, then sure. Yeah,
so
makes sense.
What did you think about the origin stories of Jack Sparrow that we finally see in this?
Well, I think the flashback was a great call. I feel like that's what 4 was like. 4 seemed to spend an insane amount of money and not show us anything.
They describe all this shit that we don't see.
We're like, wait, why can't I watch that?
And this movie very simply just shows us that.
Yeah.
It's like, why did no one think of this?
It's like, I want to watch Barbosa get his leg ripped off. Please.
Off screen.
Why? Especially now that I know that he's a fucking monster.
Piece of shit. Yeah, Jesus.
God, I loved his little fucking diamond encrusted leg.
This was so funny. I think this movie found a way to take a lot of the debris from 4 and do a real like one-up on it that was delightful. But like seeing Barbosa like fully decked out with his diamond-studded golden peg leg was fucking funny.
Everyone was dressed so dumb on his boat. It was really great.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing we've never talked about was at the end of the 3rd one, those 2 British soldiers became pirates.
Which is wonderful.
Then they're like Jeffrey Rush's right-hand man.
Right.
And they're
the 2 guys who Jack Sparrow deceives almost instantly in the first film. Right.
They are heroes.
They're lifers in this fucking series.
Yeah.
They have made it through a real fucking journey.
How many people have been in all 5?
Off the top of my head, just Jack Sparrow and Jeffrey Rush and Gibbs.
Yep, Gibbs. And then these 2 clowns.
These 2 fucking numbnuts. And they're great. They're really great. They seem like the kind of like British character
Oh, wait,
actors.
They weren't in 4, were they?
I don't remember.
Fuck.
Man, 4's a piece
God
of shit.
Damn it.
4 ruined this.
We're ripping 4 right out.
But also, I think like this movie, I'm so happy this didn't suck. Because it's like, when often people are like, should I actually watch these movies? And sometimes I'm like, honestly, I don't know if you have to watch all 4 Jaws movies. They were all like, they maxed out at B-, I think. So like, but like this was like, no, if you actually got into 1 and 2 and 3, like 5 is just, like stunningly, like it's really satisfying.
Yeah, and this is why, go back to critics, like they basically convinced me that who cares? Why should I go see this thing?
Well, you were talking about your own relationship. I don't want to speak for you on this, but like, I think there's this idea of like, pop culture, the old machine, they churn out the turds and the dumb turd eaters eat the turds, and I'm too good for that kind of thing.
I'm no turd eater.
You've told me that many times on and off mic.
I'm no turd eater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're saying this is,
Yeah, this is another, I love this podcast. You hate me right now.
No, I love
Every time I say I love this podcast, you're like, why
you.
is he saying that? Can you just get to the fucking point?
Much like the missionary character in the 4th film, I believe even you have value.
Wow.
Despite the low rung of society you inhabit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bartender.
Yeah. Ugh. The service of bars? No, thank you.
I wipe them down.
Do you spit on them?
Spit on them, wipe them down.
Because as a bartender, I want to get back to your original thing, but as a bartender, do you watch these movies and be like, I wish I was a pirate bartender?
No.
Yeah,
I really like my clientele.
Yeah.
People that enjoy craft beer are nice.
You complain about them all the time.
I don't.
You really
That's
do.
bullshit. I do not.
You're like, these craft beer motherfuckers show up and yell at me, and they're fucking wasted, and it's their excuse to be alcoholics.
This is sad.
And they yell at me.
This isn't real.
Fake news.
Yeah, fake news.
Like fucking President Cheeto Drumpf.
Yeah, he's all about fake news.
Yeah, he hates it, but also does it. It's fucked up.
Wow. You're just like the people that he hates.
Yeah, Jews?
And I'm just like him.
White?
Wow. I didn't know I had so much in common with the Drumpf.
The Drumpf dog.
Yeah.
Finally, someone with balls.
Yeah.
Okay, but no, so you
you
were
said
saying,
you saw someone with a bumper sticker?
Yeah, we were in Connecticut and drove by some dumb piece of shit in a pickup truck with a Trump 2020. Finally, someone with balls.
Jesus. I drove by someone that had a bumper sticker that just said, "Not my president," and I was thinking, that's beautiful. You can just leave that on your car your entire life.
Yeah, I do like people are like, no thanks, but
No
like
thanks.
everything, like it's like hot take. You fucking hate everything. Wow.
Yeah.
So
That
brave.
was me. That was me back then. This is a good segue. Listen to this.
Okay.
That was me back then. Hated everything that people liked. But because I love this, not because I love this podcast. One of the reasons why I love this podcast, it is forcing me to get down on my hands and knees and watch pop culture. And it's good.
It's great.
It's
Who
really
knew?
fun.
Well, here's the thing. I think like, often, I think there's that like bloated big picture, but like, no, sometimes people lavish care and attention on these things, and they're
Right.
one, totally crazy, like at World's End, or B, they actually nail it. And this movie is like the leanest of the movies. Well, other than the first one, which is at this point looks like Child's Play compared to how absolutely
The movie
insane.
Child's Play?
Yes, because there is, of
Cool.
course, the talking murderous doll in the first film.
Yeah. We never talked about it, but it's in there.
Yeah, Chucky's in the first movie. Go back, rewatch it. You forgot probably. No, but this one, I think it combines that sort of like, it's a big budget picture. It's definitely like, this big franchise movie. But it's again, at 2 hours, it's shorter than most of the movies we watched for this entire series, other than like our initial run of Mike Myers tight 90s films.
That's true. Which is most of our series.
That's true. I miss Mike.
We
yeah.
still have. No, you don't. Don't
Imagine
say
if
that.
Mike was in one of these.
Oh God! Don't
Like,
say that.
And this pirate farts eats his own turds. He's Captain Turd Eater.
I thought,
I'm Captain Turd Eater.
I was Captain Turd Eater.
You're in my heart, Captain Turd Eater.
Is that why you thought of this character?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
clever man.
Do you picture me, a thin tattooed gentleman, as Captain Turd Eater?
No, if Mike Myers is doing it, he's got
Yeah.
he's just covered in actual shit and like
Yeah, he's probably got a big belly.
one of those Monty Python sketches where in retrospect you're like, oh, they're just covered in poop sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like real poop.
Actual human fucking feces.
Yeah, because it was BBC and they couldn't really afford anything, so they're just
They
like,
had to shit in each other. Look it
Yeah.
up. Google it. No, okay. So I guess we're at the point where normally we'd be starting to get to the when will it end question. And just for the record, right now it's extremely unclear what's going to happen with this series. They could go on with that Johnny Depp, which honestly, it's fine. We've gotten more than enough Jack. He seems like a piece of shit. Let's just move on. I don't think they can write that much more Jack, because 4 was so bad that clearly even that effort I think is for nothing. But at this point, would you watch a 6th film?
I'd watch it, probably because you'd force me to. I don't
Yes.
really want one.
Okay.
I think this is a really nice ending. I think this is like we've talked about TV shows already today.
Yeah.
I think the TV show curse is that it creates a long, like they're longer than movies. Is that right?
One sec.
Just tell me I'm right.
Yes, you're right. Yeah,
Longer than
I did the
movies.
research. Yeah.
So in the same way that this is like basically the length of at least 5 movies, probably closer to 6, I'm looking at the grand scheme of things here, the full arc. And I feel like we've hit our first full arc. And now I'm scared they're going to have to come up with something else, and it's going to be more Jack. And it's just like, I think this is good.
Well, let me
think
ask you this.
We got to it.
We get a
place.
little Orlando, a little Kira. Clearly, neither of them wanted to do too much in this movie. They're in it for Kira is barely in it, and Orlando Bloom. Does she have a line in it?
She hugs.
That's not a line.
It's not?
Orlando has 2 scenes, well, 3 counting the extra.
Yeah, it's a very dad-centric film.
A lot of dad talk. But, I don't think they want to do these movies anymore, even though they hint at a Davy Jones return in the after credits.
Yeah.
I would watch more villains. I think what I've learned from this, I would love to watch a villains-only movie.
I mean, isn't that what we've been watching the whole time?
No, but I want more Davy Jones. I want more Barb. Well,
See,
no,
I don't even consider
Barbarossa's
Davy
dead.
Jones to
He's
be a
gotta die.
villain.
He's a misunderstood. He's definitely a villain.
Do you think he's a villain?
He's a misunderstood villain, but he's absolutely a villain. He's
Oh,
definitely.
wow. I see him as the same as everyone else.
I think because he when he worked for the Dutch East India Company, he slaughters people, he enslaves people. I think he more so than the other characters. Barbossa's a shitty pirate guy, but he didn't enslave the high seas and entrap people in purgatory.
He sort of did by unleashing the curse of the Black Pearl.
But let me argue this. I would say that was only on himself, though. That wasn't on anybody else.
And his whole captain. And his whole crew.
Yeah, but they're already pirates. It's different.
What do you mean they were already pirates? They weren't undead pirates.
Davy Jones is ripping through people like it's nothing.
Yeah, but they're dead. He doesn't kill people.
Yes, he kills living people. We see it all the time in those movies.
Yeah, but they're basically it's they're already dead.
Oh, okay.
And he's just finishing the job and being like, do you want to live in servitude to me? Because they're all dead.
And then kills them.
And then remember in the second one where he's like, you're still alive. What are you doing on this boat?
Right. Okay,
he doesn't kill them. He metaphorically sends them on. Or
he serves in a creep. He's a villain.
He's not a villain.
He's a function of the ocean that is villainous, I would argue. Or dark.
The sea
He's a darker character. He's a supernatural dark character in a way that most of them are not.
He's just the sea.
You're saying
the sea is cruel. The sea is cold.
My landman opinions to the sea.
You can, but you're going to be wrong about that.
Fair enough. All right. You know what? You're right. It was your idea.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but I guess my counterpoint is that it seems like Orlando Bloom has the same job and then does it maybe in a little bit less of a
I see what you're saying.
Brutal way.
Yeah, but he's also new. It's like when you first start a job, you're all fresh-eyed. You're like, all right, I'm ready to conquer the world. Let's do this.
Well, the ocean in this case.
And then 3 years later, you're like, fuck.
Just kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Just fucking kill him. I don't know.
I gotta play the organ. By the way, Josh is playing the microphone with his face.
With penis tentacles. Yeah, okay, so...
See that, Ebert? You can do whatever you want with that fucking face.
I don't have scrofula either. That's for fans of the show.
Are you sure?
No scrofula. No tumors on my neck. Okay, so I would watch a sixth movie. It'd be really funny thing to I want to see Davy Jones do more shit. I love Bill Nighy in this. And so far, to my knowledge, I'm going to Google it now. I don't think he's been Me Too'd.
You can put down your vape.
No, I'm going to hold it in my hand.
Okay. Josh has been vaping constantly. I'm a little worried.
It's become a part of my body. Okay,
I'm a little worried.
Let's focus on more important things. Is Bill Nighy a sex criminal?
This is so sad.
We need to do more research with this, obviously. I think anyone over the age of I don't know, 10, we got to Google now.
This world sucks.
Let's see, Bill Nighy, Me Too. Trying to cover all bases. Oh my God, the article is titled, I'm not in any trouble, everyone can relax.
Oh God, that doesn't sound good.
No, I think there isn't one.
Great.
Well.
Wow.
Amazing.
And Orlando's probably okay.
Oh God, I have to check now.
God damn it.
Orlando.
This is good. This is good podcasting.
We're doing work. People are going to thank us. They'll be like, oh, I can like a still.
Right. They don't have to do their own Google search now.
The article that came up for him was, we need to take the allegations against Katy Perry seriously.
Wow. So not only is he, against Katy Perry?
Katy Perry, Orlando Bloom wanted me to go paddleboarding naked too. He went naked paddleboarding. He hung dong in a paparazzi pic.
I don't get it.
He went paddleboarding naked.
Yeah.
And he was dating Katy Perry.
And so what are the allegations?
There aren't any against Katy Perry?
Yeah.
Well, no, that's just against her, which is its own question.
This is why we don't do this on the podcast, because it just unleashes a series of questions that I'm
the Kraken.
Like the Kraken?
Yeah.
This is like the Kraken?
Well, remember when Liam Neeson goes, unleash the Kraken, in that movie no one saw.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Kraken in this series.
Well, I'm saying it's a Kraken overlap. Okay. Katy Perry has her own groping things against female reporters in Russia or something. And Josh Kloss, a male model. Long story short, Google everybody. Everything's terrifying.
That's what we got to do.
But Orlando, congrats.
Not only is Orlando
you're off the
not
list.
a Me Too guy, but he's also an ally.
Yeah.
Is that what I understood? He said we should believe her. Much in the same way that everyone should just
No one said anything close to that.
What did he say? I thought he said we should believe the allegations against...
No, the article was saying we should take allegations against female stars just seriously as male stars.
Oh, I thought you were saying Orlando Bloom said that.
Well, no, that's his ex-girlfriend. It'd be a little weird if he was like, we got to fucking investigate Katy Perry. That shit's fucked up. But we should. But he didn't say it. I think it's not classy to do that.
Right. Okay, so he's fine.
So Orlando, Bill, phew, they're on the list still. Thank God Jeffrey Rush tied in that. Maybe they killed him off being like, we can't have two main stars of the series now be locked up in allegations. Because those are very recent.
Yes.
So him and Depp are essentially now tainted, which they should be. If these allegations are true, fuck them forever, never be in a movie again.
Yeah, and Rush did die. I don't know.
In the movies, he's still alive in real life and fending off libel charges. Yeah, it's a real. Well, I'm not saying I don't want him to die, but he should be held responsible. If these claims are true, Jeffrey, you have fucking things to. You have reparations to make.
I think if his response to these allegations, if they're true, is to do lawsuits against newspapers telling the truth, then yeah, he should probably just die.
Wow.
If he's not saying, well, yeah, I did that. That was awful. Let me see the ways that I can make my life better, everyone's life better, become a better person, and live in this world, much like No Country for Old Men is telling us to act.
Yes.
If he's not saying any of those things, if he's not saying, I did bad things and I'm going to do better now,
then maybe he should be the Curse of the Black Pearl again.
He should be just dead. We have billions of people on this planet. We do not people that are trying to find ways to not get in trouble.
Hold on, billions, really?
His baby.
That's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah.
How many are pirates, do you think?
Probably 20.
20 people are pirates?
Yeah.
There's 20 pirates left?
Yeah, that's it.
It seems hard to be a pirate in 2019.
It really does. Yeah. But I guess there are, and that's why I think these movies are a little weird, is that there's actually a problem with piracy in certain parts of the world. And these just sort of like glorify the pirate life, even though...
Hold on. Glorify the pirate life? I think we keep agreeing that these movies make being a pirate look fucking awful by and large.
They look awful, but they're basically like, you can either be a capitalist and ruin the world, or you can be a pirate and be free.
Well, okay, that's fair, I guess, but isn't that like that same anarcho-capitalist viewpoint that fucking sucks? Where they're like, if markets are unregulated, then that's what encourages the best in people. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that.
No, we need equality, like actual and equity, equality, and like real substantive things, not just like, oh, it'll balance itself out, and ancient prejudices will not rear their heads and maintain power structures that are completely immobile.
You know what else we need?
What at?
Sharks.
Fucking robot. No, they're zombies.
Zombo sharks. We need cannonballs.
We need cannonballs. We need
keel hauling. We got it all.
Okay, so we were talking a lot about the life of the pirates, and we talked about in 4, it's a much more sterile movie. In this one, relatively quickly, Captain Jack Sparrow is caked head to toe in pig shit.
Pig shit. Like, and then this is like he's drunk. He walks in, gives away his compass. It's amazing. Right.
It very quickly, like, he hits a really hard rock bottom. His crew abandons him. He's fucking like... He just, again, literally coated in shit. And I was like, if this was Verbinski world, like everyone, like the entire world would be coated in shit and screaming at each other, which is like, I was kind of happy. It was just like a little more like cheeky and fun and a little bit less like overwhelming.
But what was great was that when a man walks, see, this is why I'm glad I'm not a pirate bartender.
Yeah.
Because when Johnny Depp walks into the bar covered in pig shit,
no one says
a goddamn thing. And to get my little tip, please, sir, give me your tips. I would have to just serve him because he's covered in pig shit.
That's true.
Because I want his fucking...
You want that compass. That fucking compass. Hey, so Effie from Skins is in this?
Yeah. So this is our... We figured this out.
Right.
You figured this out.
I did.
No, wait, I figured this out.
Shut up.
You're like, who is that? That's Effie from Skins. And I was like, I've heard the term Effie from Skins before.
You were like Bootstrap Bill. You're like, Effie from Skins. Effie from Skins. Maze Runner, the Maze Runner films. Yeah, so we have an actor overlap here. I would be shocked if it was our first major non-Mike Myers overlap between series.
Michael Caine was in Jaws and Austin Powers 3.
Oh, that's true. So she's now in a glorified air of Michael Caine.
Fuck Michael Caine.
Yeah, legit the worst performance we've seen in this podcast to
Probably.
date. Oh, easily.
Oh,
like everyone else at least is trying and doing a bad job. When they're doing a bad job, he's like, I'll drive a plane. My name is Herbie, a hoagie.
I need the script closer to my eyes.
Oh no, a shark. Oh, there's a bloody shark. This water is full of bloody sharks. I love you. Let us be married.
I do not like having all these one-way conversations.
Oh no, a shark. Yeah, so Effie from Skins is great in this. She plays, who we find out later on, spoiler, we've said it like 8 times, she's Barbossa's daughter. And she's a woman of science. Everyone's like, she's a witch. I was like, this is kind of dumb, but I was like, no, this is funny.
Yeah, it's
a good bit.
Yeah, it's good to see like who it was good. It was very simple.
Yeah,
but it was like it was nice. I liked it. It was fun.
And then there's like an actual witch who we learn almost nothing about and disappears at a certain point. But
I do like that the British are actually like okay. It's like it was actually interesting. They know that real witches do exist.
Yeah,
and they use the stupidity of the people to like call just women that they don't like witches, but they actually really like witches.
Well, when they're helpful in telling them sea secrets, sure. Well, hey, let me ask you this. Did you like the execution scene set piece? The really elaborate guillotine?
I really
hanging?
did.
This was a great sequence.
This was like Verbinski, the closest we've seen.
Definitely Depp trying to avoid an active guillotine while swinging around in a circle and the blades flying up and down. And like, this was really fun.
And then
I liked it a lot.
She gets hanged, but he holds her by her bottom.
And they make a lot of weird like
sex hole jokes
where she's like, well, basically your hand is, we're more than friends now. And he's like, I've got your port. She goes, that's my stern. He's like, I thought it was your port. It's like, definitely at the stern. It's like, is he in her orifices?
Also, is stern a boat term?
These are boat terms, yes.
I thought it was...
You're quick.
Port?
Movie 5 about boats, and you're like, oh, I think it's a boat joke.
Starboard.
That's
port and starboard.
Right. That's left and right.
And then it's... Bow,
stern
and bow.
Yeah,
but it's just that she's confusing.
Look at these two salty nautical dogs.
Wow, or
two
dogs
salty
now.
nautical dogs.
But he's saying left and right terms, and she's using up and back terms.
Look, their communication as a couple clearly is a long way to go.
Yeah,
do they kiss in this?
They do kiss.
They do kiss at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, remember he goes in for the kiss. She slaps him.
Yeah.
And then she goes, "Just make sure you're not a ghost."
Yeah, it's pretty good because he was briefly possessed by Javier Bardem, famously.
Cool. That was really cool.
That was great.
There's possession in this movie.
And again, also it was like so delightfully short, which was so nice. We're like, I think.
What were you going to say about? I thought you were going to talk about the set piece.
Oh, I mean, just not much more to add there. Like,
okay, because you've already talked about how short this movie
is. A Verbinski level. I was going to say the rising action feels earned in this.
Okay.
Where in some of the other movies, like in 3, you're like, is this fucking over? And it's like, no, there's 2 hours left.
What?
Right. And in 4, you're like, is anything going to happen? And it's like, what is happening? This one had a lot of forward momentum and moves well. Talk about set pieces. The walking around underwater in the massive split ocean. So cool.
That was fun.
It was really great.
The only wish I had was maybe like, no, because they really had to keep it separate. But like if they could have somehow like had crossing over between the sea, but it was fine. It was good. I think Verbinski might have figured that out.
Verbinski would have had people launching over the fucking sea chasm and like a sword fight in midair.
Yeah.
Jesus. That's why the Maelstrom battle I think is kind of a disappointment to me still. Like it's just
it's hard to see.
It's hard to see. Everything's gray. It's very confusing. Okay, so we're getting towards the end of the episode. I want to talk about, while we have a little bit of time here, our rankings. Because I have now come to, in my conclusion, what are my rankings.
I love when Josh gets like really paced in, like, all right, we got to make sure we're on pace here.
Well, I want us to give us ample time to get into our
rankings. Because I'm more loose. I'm like a goose.
Oh my God. Okay, well, would the loose goose like to begin with the rankings?
No, you go ahead.
Okay. So I think as far as like overall, the most platonic example of these movies at their finest has to be 2. In my mind, it's gore at its peak. It's not the insane excess of 3 or the relatively foundational place setting of 1. We have our big set pieces. There's great action. We have Admiral Norrington, who was good in the first movie. Now he's bad, but he's bad again after being good for a minute.
Yeah.
We're getting this sort of like shifting allegiances. Things are kind of crazy. It ends on that very Empire Strikes Back note of like, well, we've got to go get Jack, baby. And like, we get a lot of the flavors. I think it's the broadest cross-section of what works about the Verbinski era. And I think he is the best part of like, he obviously created a truly insane and unexpectedly intense world. And I think 2 captures for me, like, this is your best overall. It's like the sample platter. You get a little bit of everything.
Yeah. And it's all good.
And it's all delicious.
And for me, it's all vegan.
Yum, yum. Yeah, this is the least vegan movie series ever.
Right,
it's
but
like misery and rotting and
if
death.
we're comparing it to a sample platter, which has nothing to do with
the
the movie.
That you're fucking vegan, Charles.
Right. But this would be a vegan platter that I and anyone could enjoy.
Would you eat fish sticks?
No. The fishing industry is almost as bad as the cattle industry.
Yeah, Google it.
Yeah, it's ruining the oceans.
Okay, number 2.
They killed a whale. The Japanese killed a whale the other day.
Yeah, bring your hatred of Japan into this. Okay, so number 2 for me, number 5. I think, like, again, like, in my mind, like, what I like about some of these franchises is that over time they actually arrive at the perfect synthesis of everything that works about a series. And I think 5 is just like exactly everything I wanted from it. And if you want to like watch something a little divorced from the madness of a second film in a 3-arc Rising plot, it's great, it's funny, it worked, it's light, it's fresh, it's fun, yum yum yum. It's like scallops with a little bit of lemon on it and butter.
I'd eat that.
Yum yum. So that's 2 for me. And then
as a vegan, I actually would eat mollusks and clams and oysters and scallops.
Well, keep us updated. The shit's fascinating.
Yeah.
Then for 3, I would probably go. This is where it gets tough because 1 and 3 are trapped in this weird like back and forth. Where 1 is like a very satisfying, neat, simple little movie, and then 3 is so fucking crazy and intense. I guess for sheer watchability,
Come on, man.
It's got to be 1.
Oh, okay.
For sheer watchability,
Fine.
Look, 3 is like a terrifying monolith that I'm fascinated by, but I don't want to watch it again. It really was exhausting.
Fine. This is your order.
It's my little list, baby. And then in a distant 5th, so far back, it's almost impossible to see.
Oh yeah, that was
4.
No, what about 3?
3 was 1, then 3 is 4.
No, 2 was 1. You never gave 3.
I just set it up.
If we listen to this, you said, is 3 or 1 going to be in third place?
And I said 1.
And then you just, so what? We're supposed to assume that 3 takes 4th?
I explained why those two tussle for contention for spot number 3. And so obviously...
I believe I...
You, much like the crowd...
I believe I and Binsky would like to hear you say...
You're like the goat brains at the execution who don't understand what a witch and a scientist are. And you're the same... You're one of those fucking
I'm a goat
people.
Brain?
You're a big-titted, dirt-encrusted wench from the era of pirating, and you're a fool. So everyone got it, because everyone home's smarter than Charles. Congrats, everybody. Pat yourself on the back. I'm doing it. Yay, I'm smarter than Charles.
He actually is.
Yay, Charles is stupid.
God. Well, I'm right all the time.
Oh, it's your idea. It was your idea that you're stupid. So you're right.
That's a good point.
So and then number 5 would be number 4, which was terrible, like really bad. I hated watching it. So I know. So once again, to break it down for you, it goes a little something like this: 2 and 5 and 1 and 3, and number 5 is number 4.
That's very confusing.
Yeah, sure. It's a lot of numbers.
My brain is a fucking goat, big tit brain from the ghost town.
Wow, that's the dumbest thing you've ever said.
So you called me.
No, you put it together in a real wild way. Okay, give me your rankings, bad boy. Give me a taste of what the old
right.
Charles,
do I need to explain it like you did?
The big-titted ghost brain, ghost town guy. No, don't explain it. It's not a podcast where we talk about movies, so just don't explain it.
All right.
Don't get into your intentionality or why. Just, rattle off a list of numbers. That's what people want.
All right, I'm going to do that first.
Okay.
I'm going to go back.
I
just don't want people to be like, oh, I could go backwards.
Go backwards. Yeah.
All right, so it's going to be backwards. I got to think about that, though.
This was your idea.
It's a good one. I'm just
take
going to
the
do
list you already had.
Wait.
And do it backwards.
So it was 2, 5. Hold on.
You're giving it away.
Don't listen to this. Don't listen to this.
Jesus fucking Christ.
2, 5.
I'll vamp for a minute. This movie
3,
stars sex criminals,
1,
and I really wish we'd done our research about
4.
Jeffrey Rush earlier. I apologize.
I got to write this down. I can't do this.
You want a pen?
2, 5.
Wow. So a minute ago, oh gosh, you're not doing a very good job on the podcast.
I'm just in
numbers.
Inhabiting. All right, 2, 5.
You're not even writing.
Stop it. It's 2, 5, 3, 1, 4. 4, 2, 5, 3, 1. 1, 3, 5, 5, 2. That's it backwards.
Okay, why didn't you write it? I gave you the pen. You held it over paper. You didn't write anything down.
Because I'm a gold brain, big tit goes down.
Jesus Christ. Okay, tell us your list in a comprehensible way.
All right, so I agree with Josh. Or I don't agree with Josh. We both agree.
And we happen to agree with the same
that
thing.
The first two. 2 is the best because it's a sample platter thing. Whatever Josh said, it's the best. It's Binsky. I'm calling him Binsky.
Go to town, baby.
Because I was like, is it gore? Should I call him gore? I don't really like the word gore because it means a couple things. Well, it just means one thing.
Well, in these movies, it actually is confusing because
right, exactly. That's why I was like, wait, do you like gore? Or do you like gore, or do you like gore? And then
me?
Who is that?
I'm Bill Clinton.
I love Bill Clinton.
Al Gore's my friend. Okay, gotta go.
Very similar exit strategy to Gore. That's good.
Okay.
5, I think, is, as you said, very streamlined, similar to Binsky, but Binsky, like, when I say Binsky light, I mean it in an endearing way. Like,
right.
Binsky light, not like Binsky light.
It's
like,
the lean meat. You're getting the lean meat.
You're getting exactly what you want, but you don't get all this crazy bullshit. And it's a perfect time for them to enter to, like, close out the series on, like, a satisfying note. I sort of want to be satisfied sometimes. I don't mind having all these pirate shenanigans with people being betrayed and hate their lives most of the time, but it is nice to get a little bit like, oh, they're married. Jack's got his boat back.
They actually landed with finality, which is a crazy accomplishment.
Yeah, like everything gets, like, we know that Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom, the whole series want to be together, but they can't be. they're together.
I was really emotional when Keira Knightley runs up over the hill towards Orlando Bloom. I loved it.
Yeah, it was great.
I loved it. I applauded.
Even though it's CGI. These two characters that we just meet that we both loved, like they're really good actors.
Yeah, the chemistry of young Henry Turner and Effie from Skins is fantastic.
It really worked.
They're great.
So they get married or whatever bullshit. They kiss, I guess. That's fine. Keep it loose.
Sure.
Like a goose.
Chaka.
That's my motto.
Chaka.
I'm just starting that motto. How's it working?
Not well. Continue.
Yeah, so and just like it's nice. We've already talked about it. 5, great. This is where we differ, though.
Okay, so we're at number 3 for you.
I much prefer 3 to 1. 1 is a great foundation to give me characters that I will understand later, much like the way Shrek is good at giving me characters I will understand later. But as movies that I find interesting or important or have any value, I do not find it. I think it's pretty boring. I don't think...
It's certainly less fucking insane than the other ones.
Yeah, and it's like much more simple in a bad way. It's like... I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me. Where 3 was like fucked up, crazy. I had to pay attention to know what the fuck was going on. The set pieces were wild. Even though the last one was a little bit gray, but I was like still like, wow, holy shit. When we were watching it with Felipe and friends, I was like,
just that gore shit.
Here comes the bullshit.
Just that Binsky
Here
bullshit.
comes the bullshit. And I was so excited for the bullshit. And it paid out. But I think, again, like it's dark. It's about death. It's about being sad and lonely and like trying to do your best. And I think, in a shitty world. And I think it's really cool.
I think it's very bold for him to end the original trilogy on the note he chooses to end it with. Of like, everyone's back to nothing. We've learned nothing. Everyone's just more broken and sad despite some gains. It's like really rough. Yeah. And that's cool.
So, and then 1's fine. And 4 is awful.
Yeah, 4 is quite bad.
So yeah, we'll say it forward this time. 2, 5, 3,
3,
1, 4.
2, 1, 5, 4.
Thank you. Well, thanks for interrupting.
Yeah, it was your idea. Well, and that concludes our Pirates coverage. We've done a pretty exhaustive rundown of these movies. I have to say, again, if you haven't watched these, I really recommend it. I think 5 is a great finale to the first 3. 4, you can skip.
I've said it before.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it again. I love this podcast.
I love this fucking podcast.
Because I never would watch these movies.
And you can join us for our next series, which we're finally going to do Die Hard. It's
finally
at long last. We're doing
Die
Hard.
No. We just... I know that we had this bit, but we actually
You're retiring the bit?
Just for now. There goes the bit.
No, you bring it down. You don't hoist it.
Oh, the flag.
At half mast. Put your Jolly Rogers at half mast. We're not doing Die Hard. What's up next, Charles?
Let's actually do on For Real.
Let's do it for real. A real promo.
We'll come back to the bit later.
We are lining up our coverage of a series that is beloved for a much anticipated 6th film, which everyone has been excited about. That's right. Terminator 6 is coming out, so we're doing the Terminator films. Yes. Get excited. You can hear us bitch about T2, wax rhapsodic about T1, and I've never seen 3 or 4 or 5.
I've seen 3 and 4.
Well, I'm excited to see Christian Bale.
Another bad man?
We'll look into it in the next one. Well, look, this is when will it end. We're the best podcast of all time. I Googled it.